to
Right.
understand that there is another life on the other side of that identity. You are
Right.
no longer that identity. When it's time to leave,
Right.
it's time to leave.
Yep.
Because otherwise, if you're not listening to this voice, the only thing you will do is numb it with things that are destroying your
I-
life and the
Right.
life of people around you.
Welcome to And Then I Did This. Prepare to be inspired as we celebrate the unique journeys of individuals who've had the courage to break free and live life on their own terms. Their lives prove that you truly can be free to live your best and most authentic life. Let's get to it. Today, I have a special guest, JD Tremblay. He's an ultra endurance athlete who's completed the Epic Deca, a feat only 3 people in the entire world have achieved, along with Ultraman races across 3 continents and swimming, biking, and running the entire length of Israel. He's contributed a decade of military service and then became an engineer and best-selling author of Hunger for More in Life. JD lives by the motto, if your goals don't scare you, set the bar higher, and dedicates his life to pushing physical limits, raising his son, and inspiring others to break through their mental barriers. JD, welcome to the show.
Well, welcome, LuRae, for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, share a little about your background just to give context for where you've been and how you got where you are to the mindset you have that's so inspiring.
Yeah, I think you touched on a lot of the key points about engineering, and a lot of people talk about all of these achievements and everything that I have accomplished. They see really the tip of the iceberg. But what most people don't talk about is the first question, which is my background and where I come from. So I come from a background where I lived a very structured life. My dad was in the military. My grandfather was in the military. My grandmother was also in the military. All my aunts, two of my brothers went into the military. So very structured life. My dad was very strict. You had to go to church
Mm,
on Sunday. You had to wear a certain type of clothes. And it's not even until
wow.
high school that I realized that wearing your shirt in your pants was a no go. And I started getting bullied for it.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but a very structured life.
Right.
Again, now I transition at 17 years old into the military. So I'm a child. 17,
Wow.
you're not even fully grown
Exactly.
as a man. So I had no idea about the physical limits I could achieve,
Right.
but I had to follow a certain structure. In the military, for all those listening that have military members, they will connect immediately because, oh yeah, they
Oh,
will know uh, that guy learned how to breathe in the military. They teach
right.
you how to walk in the military the wrong way, but they
Wow.
do teach you. For example, on basic training, they teach you how to hit the heel to make a
Oh,
lot of noise,
wow.
which in the civilian doesn't translate well
No,
because there's not a single person in the
no,
medical field,
no.
unless they want injured people,
Right.
that would teach you to hit the heel very strong. It's only
Wow.
for military purposes.
Right.
So I had to readjust that when I left the military.
Wow,
So I
my
came from a
gosh.
background of structure, and now I had to leave the military. And to me, that was very scary. That was very,
Yeah.
very scary. I went through a divorce and hit
Wow.
one of the lowest financial point in my life. I had to
Wow.
rebuild everything. We
Wow.
had 3 income properties, businesses. I had the
Gosh.
kid. That's the thing. On
Wow.
paper, I had the wife, the
Right.
healthy child. I was military, and my identity was rooted in the
Right.
uniform. I
Right.
was a military member. And that's the thing with lots of
Wow.
civilians would not understand or maybe comprehend, or maybe they will, in the sense that some of their husbands are too much into work.
Right.
And they say, well, I'm a lawyer, or
Right.
I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor. And that's before even saying, well, I'm a husband. Their
Oh
identity is
my
rooted in their titles. And for the
goodness.
military, it's
Exactly.
rooted in ranking. It's rooted in
Oh,
mission. It's rooted in the structure. I am the instructor. You are the lower rank.
right.
You are to obey and
Oh
you
my
are to follow
gosh.
this structure. And to me, that was a huge shift. To me, it was,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't think I would do well in the military. I think well, at this point, I'm such a renegade. Like my brother was a Marine and my nephew actually lost his life as a Navy SEAL. So like respect to both of them. Neither of them are living actually at this point. I wouldn't do well in that level of structure, like that corporate structure, because I'll talk a lot on LinkedIn about, and just in life period about people getting too wrapped up in their identity. And I'll suggest to people, introduce yourself without any titles. Who are you? Beneath everything you were told and programmed to believe about yourself from your upbringing or society, who are you? Who are you? Like, who am I? Look in the mirror and answer the question, who am I? Stripped of all of those things. And that people have a hard time answering that.
Oh, it took me years. It took me years,
Mhm.
and there's no help out there for men. And when I say no help, there
Yeah.
are some help, some key parts, because again, I came out of the military and now
Wow.
doing well as an organization.
Right.
For me, it was the beginning was when my dad told me the story, because he came out of the military as well.
Right.
God told him once, he said, go out of the military and become a teacher. And
Mm.
that lowered the pay. It transformed the dynamic of our
Right.
family. We lost lots of respect for my dad. You're going from
Oh,
a military uniform and you're a child and you're seeing this military person,
right.
and he's your father. You love
Right.
him very much.
Right.
But he's now a teacher. Should I
Right.
respect him as much? And there are these preconceived ideas of what the uniform carries, where
Right.
some people, the government or agencies, would show you that you must respect the military a bit more. And I can't imagine. I mean, now you're talking about the American military. A lot of people have a lot more respect for the American military because it's the best in the world. So my dad told me once, he said, when I came out, because I was scared, I said, Dad, I'm not going out. I'm going out because I want to be a present dad. That's all it is.
Right.
I'm going through a divorce. She's gone with the kid. And now I have to readjust,
Right.
realign. And I lose all of this structured, all of this control that I
Right.
have over all of my finances.
Right.
And I say, I want to be a present dad. That's how I see it. I see the hierarchy. The Christian hierarchy is I must
Right.
be with my son. I must be a
Mhm.
present father. That's the way I see it. I don't know
Mhm.
how it's going to turn out,
Right.
but I must do it. So my dad said, well, there's a story between the dog and the wolf. You heard that one
But
before
no,
this?
share it. Share it. No,
No?
share it. Yeah.
Okay. So the wolf needs the dog. The wolf is really hungry, hasn't eaten in days. And he looks at the dog and he starts talking to the dog. And obviously, it's a hypothetical situation,
Mhm.
it's
Right.
a fairy tale. Talks to the dog. The dog says, well, you should just become a dog. It's very easy. I have security. All I have to do is just bark a little. I got my
Right.
master that runs
Right.
really quickly. I become ill.
Mhm.
No worries.
Right.
My master is going to take care of me. I got food
Right.
daily. I can eat to get myself sick. My master has to put less food in my
Right.
bowl because otherwise I become fat
Right.
or I puke it all out. That's how much food I have.
Right.
I can run around. I have exercise. I can do anything I want or
Right.
anything you want. So the wolf starts doubting his lifestyle and he starts asking, okay, maybe I should become a dog. He says, before I become a dog, can you tell me what's around, like, what's around your neck? And he says, that's nothing. That's just for me not to run everywhere and leave the area and live free. And the wolf's mentality is completely different. He said, well, I'll just go back to my pack and be hungry. Because these types of people, these types of wolf that are ready to hunt,
Right.
they're not willing to sacrifice their freedom
Right.
with a collar. It's more important for them to
Right.
hunt, to be hungry,
Right.
than to have that type of collar around their neck and that wolf mentality, that
Right.
those values, that freedom.
Yeah.
It's really invigorating.
Yeah.
And many people just don't understand it because it's scary. It's
Right.
very scary going from a dog, and we're talking military dog, we're talking
Right.
structure, to now becoming a wolf. That's destabilizing
Right.
completely for
Right.
many men,
Right.
many men.
Absolutely. And I think I'm just thinking that analogy of just the military life, the corporate life. It's like I actually posted something recently that was like, you ask for time off and hope you get it. I started out as a service rep, for God's sake. Like when my husband, he's no longer living, but when he was in college and I took a job with a phone company because my brother was with the Bell system. I go, that would be a good place to start. I had to request to go to the bathroom because I was answering calls all day long. And so you'd have to busy out, but you'd have to hit your button and say, can I go to the bathroom? I mean, that when looking back at all of that rigor and structure, I mean, that particular role, obviously you have to manage the way the calls are coming in, but you could see the red light, like people are in queue, people are waiting. And I was helping them disconnect, reconnect, move their phone service, but it was completely controlled and structured. And yeah, so the corporate path, it's equally as confining when you're at the entry level or when you're at the senior level. Because I used to think, even when I would take a shower, I'd be like, man, I'm like thinking about work and I'm not even paid for this right now. And I'm solving problems in the shower. Like, stop. Like, think about the shower, the water, I'm at the beach. Like, think about the ocean waves. Don't think about all this other stuff. But we get so trained to be on, whether it's just the conditioning or it's all kinds of fear. I don't want to lose my job right now. So many people are feeling the fear of, oh, I can't lose my job. And what about AI? And what about, yeah. So I hear you. The
Yeah, for
structure.
me, it was a fear of criticism because my dad left the military, and I remember losing some respect for my dad when he came home
Right.
and told us, I'm leaving the uniform. God told me to become a teacher. And now he's a phenomenal teacher. You go to my hometown, and if you talk about Michel Tremblay as a teacher, he is by far the best teacher that anyone has ever
Wow.
had. We had a girl, my brother became a lawyer. And when he was applying to become a lawyer, met this girl that was already part of a giant law firm in London, Ontario. My brother was asking that lady some questions. She says, that's a very common name in Quebec, your last name. It's the most common.
Wow.
She said, are you parent with Michel Tremblay? And she said, your dad taught me English, and I still remember him, and I want to meet with him. My dad, we brought my dad over to London, Ontario, and that's that. So it's huge,
Wow.
the impact that now he's making. So God is really
Yes.
helping him move into his purpose.
Yeah.
And I hope not just his story, but my story will also impact people that are
Right.
scared, and
Yeah.
that to find that fear, to
Right.
understand that there is another life on the other side of that identity. You are
Right.
no longer that identity. When it's time to leave,
Right.
it's time to leave.
Yep.
Because otherwise, if you're not listening to this voice, the only thing you will do is numb it with things that are destroying your
Right.
life and the
Right.
life of people around you. And we've seen it with many people. Ritual talks about it on his podcast, where he talks
Mhm.
about now he was a corporate lawyer and he became an alcoholic. So he
Right.
started drinking a lot.
Right.
And very famous people are talking about these things where you can't numb that voice inside of you. When it's
Right.
time to leave, it's time
Yeah.
to leave. There might be
Mhm.
another path. And I'm not saying that everybody should become a coach.
Right.
Everybody should just leave their job from one day to another and hop on a train to God knows where.
Right.
Not talking about these people who are having these revelations of God saying, well, I went to church, I saw a pamphlet, I'm going to become a missionary in Jamaica,
Right.
I'm going to leave
Right.
everything, bring my entire family, sell my
Right.
house, and go to Jamaica and become poor. Please have some common sense, okay?
Right.
That might be difficult to right
Right.
now, but please get some advice, get some
Yeah.
professional advice, get some coaching
Mhm.
advice, get some coaching call. Even I'm sure if they
Right.
reach out to you, they reach out to me, then we can analyze the situation a bit more, because sometimes you get these voices in the head that are leading you on the wrong path. And to me, I've hired marketing team where we lost so much money. I did the wrong call. We lost some money where I made a lot of wrong turns, but in the end, I ended up with massive wins that I
Mhm.
would have never been able to achieve had I stayed in the military. And you
Right.
talked about this corporate military style where you're right. You can't go to the bathroom. We couldn't go to the bathroom. If you leave your post, people could come in, people could
Right.
die. So now
Right.
you're in a life
Life and death.
situation.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't go
Yeah.
to the bathroom. You're told exactly when to do it, when to eat.
Yeah.
You eat at this time. You do
Yeah.
exactly this, and you have to follow this structure.
It's a highly advanced version of our indoctrination school system, but I'm not gonna go off on that tangent.
Of course, yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Talk a little
yeah.
bit about your athletic part of you as well, because that definitely fuels who you are today and just the mental mindset that you've had to grow into based on the things you've done physically to overcome however you're feeling or whatever. If you could share a little bit about that, I think would be really interesting.
For me, it started with my divorce. It's funny to say this. It started
Mhm.
with all of this chaotic situation. I saw no way out,
Mhm.
and I saw it as a destructive pattern. Like I thought I was destroying my body,
Mm.
and I was just going through the
Uh-huh.
motion.
Wow.
But then I understood. I saw guys, David Goggins, Rich
Right.
Roll. I saw these guys turning their life around through
Right.
these achievements,
Right.
and I wanted to know more about it. So I used the same mentality because at that time I didn't see it as courage, like
Wow.
this
Interesting.
losing everything, and I chose to
Yeah.
follow my son, and now I use this to fuel my races,
Right.
because now I have these small moments where I think, well, my body is hurting, your mind is hurting,
Right.
your after the Epic Deca, I write it in my book. It's after the Epic Deca, I took a shower, like a cold shower. I couldn't feel it. So I said, well,
Oh
I'll
my
take a hot shower. And
gosh.
in that shower, at the Holiday Inn in Hawaii, you can turn on the heat. And
Right.
at that time, it was really, really hot. And I took a boiling hot shower, and my skin turned red, but I couldn't feel anything.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
understood that I reached another level,
Right.
and I went to get a tattoo. I got a half sleeve. I stayed there for 5 hours on the tattoo table. The guy took 3 breaks, went to the bathroom,
Right. Right.
and he said, I've never seen this before. You're not on drugs or anything. I said, no, this is just, I don't feel anything. Like there's just
Oh,
no sensation at
wow.
all. So I reached level
Another
that is
level.
almost transcending. And that's, I've
Wow.
never shared this on a podcast, but I've shared this with my friends and they always laugh at it. And you can
Wow.
laugh at me, it's all fine. I like to laugh at myself. So I went to this spa after the
Right.
Epic Deca, went to a spa, and I'm in the cold
Right.
tub. And bear in mind now, I have like 12 Ironman in my body because I had 2 Ironman to train for the 10. So
Wow.
now I have 12 Ironman. I'm at the spa. My entire mind, I can't feel anything. That's
Oh
pretty
my
much.
gosh. Wow.
I'm in the spa and I stayed for over half an hour. I'm timing myself and I look at my watch and I was well over 20, 30 minutes. And like the cold tub, talking about 5 degrees Celsius for you guys, it's a bit over 32.
Oh my
32
gosh.
is like zero.
Yeah.
So I'm in the cold tub for over half an hour and I'm just chilling and I just don't feel anything. That's it.
My
So
gosh.
there's this, but it was halfway
Right.
all the way to the waist. So I was able to stay longer. And so there's this beautiful girl. Okay. She was a
Mm.
beautiful girl. And she comes over to me and she starts talking to me. And she says, I see you're in the cold tub for quite a while. One of the customer too, right? Is just minding
Right.
my own business.
Right.
And
Yeah.
she says, training for something or, and I
Uh-huh.
said, and your mind is not functioning well at
Right.
all. I'm not getting the cues at all. And I say, oh, no, no, no. And I look at her and
Right.
because it's at my
Right.
waist, the water is too cold. So I look at her and I say, without thinking, oh no, it's just because I can't feel anything. And I point at her like the whole bottom part of my body just doesn't feel anything. She tries to just like throw it back with me. And okay, I'm not sure I quite understand. Like you just don't.
Right.
And I say, yeah, I just don't feel anything from the waist down. I'm just completely numb. I just don't feel anything. And then she stayed for the third question. The third question was just about myself, and I said, okay, I'm doing I did the Epic Deca, I did this, and
What?
it's too long. Like I killed my dog. Like it was just completely trying to explain to someone that you're in a transcendent state and you
Right.
can't feel anything. Like it's just
It's people can't
I
relate. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I think now I coach executives, I coach people that elite athletes. We had a guy who was very, very sick and he went sick because he was overtraining
Oh,
for the Olympics.
wow.
So again, your mind can push your body to a
Right.
limit where you're not going to feel anything. So
Wow.
my body is doing fine. It's healthy.
Yes. So our bodies are
but
so
but say
resilient.
yeah, but
Yeah.
said it like this. Now my friends are just laughing at me because they say, well, JD is numb. It's okay. JD.
He has no feeling from the waist down, yeah.
That's it. Yep. That's it. JD is
Oh my
numb.
gosh.
And it
That is
happens with
so wild.
military people that have PTSD or are
Wow.
service member
Yeah.
talking paramedics. They see something. The nervous
Wow.
system is overloaded quite
Wow.
rapidly by a sudden change.
Right.
And just that change, it numbs your entire
Oh
system
my
and it can be quickly.
gosh.
For me, it was over the span of 10 days doing all
Right.
the islands. But I, that's the thing, I was able to recover quite quickly
Wow.
because I understood the patterns and the
Right.
structure that I built
Wow.
when I lost or when I left my job or my
Right.
identity as a
Right.
military member. So to
Yeah.
me, I was able to recover quite quickly. And now that's why now I'm able to
Help other
teach it. And
people.
exactly.
Yes, because that's like, yeah, I mean, I'm just envisioning myself like doing the stairs at the beach. I was like, feel the burn. I was like, by the time the dog is actually faster than me sometimes. I was like, that's where I'm coming. So I cannot even imagine just the physical dynamic of that. But you've taken that and turned it into a superpower now in helping other people, which is so amazing. Yeah.
And you're correct. I want to emphasize that I don't have anything that is special. I don't have any special ability. Yes, it is a superpower in a sense. And that's why I now advise these men that they can
Right.
turn all
Yes.
of this trauma or all of this negative thinking,
Right.
all of these moments that happen to you
Right.
into something that is definitely constructive and can
Right.
turn your entire life around. I was envisioning my life being like this, and that was in 2009. In 2009, I had prayed, and God had showed me, all right, you're going to be doing all of these races. You're going to be doing. I was scared. I had self doubt. Like without the structure of the military, I'm going to be able to do all of
Right.
these races. And now I'm just really excited to see the transformation in other people's lives. So that superpower can be used to bettering other men. That to me
Absolutely.
is it becomes a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to you can save a lot of people's lives in the military, you can go into missions, you can
Right.
and some people are meant to do all of this in their career and all of this in
Right.
their life. And I'm
Mhm.
all for it. But there are some people that are numbing it when they're in the
Yeah.
corporate, when they're
Yep.
executives, when they don't want to lose all of this
Exactly.
freedom that they built, which
Yep.
is only nothing but an illusion.
Mhm. Absolutely. So I would say, what advice do you have for people who are because I'm going to say who are numbing themselves either through shopping, through behaviors, through drugs, alcohol, whatever they can do to just get through the day to the next day to repeat it all over again. What advice do you have for people to step out and be true to themselves? What should they do?
One is comparison. Okay. One is comparison. You will look at JD Tremblay as soon as you start Googling this name. It's all over the internet. I'm known around the world, 10 Ironman, 10 days. And this is only one feat. I've accomplished so many others. Now we're helping children in third world countries and we're saving babies in other world. And this guy has accomplished all of instead, okay, try to do a feat that is up to the standard of fitness and your competence. So, for example,
Mhm.
if your level of fitness is doing the stairs with your dog, congratulations.
Mhm. Right.
Congratulations. Okay. If your level of fitness is way too high, then compare yourself to guys like David Goggins and me. I have no problem with it. Go ahead. But chances are you will most likely burn yourself out if you start
Right.
comparing yourself too much.
Right.
So I would say, and that's something that I can offer to all your audience for the year 2026. I have a friend, he runs races. If they book a call with me, I'll give them a certain percentage of a huge percentage on one of our races. And we races, so we're talking half marathon, we're
Mm.
talking triathlons. There's a lot of races in Canada that people could do. I'll give them a percentage off from these races. It's my friend's company, but I'll fork out the bill for this. So there's no problem with
Mm.
it. And then start small.
Mhm.
Then start small. So
Mhm.
when I started, it wasn't just an Ironman from one day to another.
Mhm.
It wasn't just, all right, we're just going to do the entire circumference of the capital of Kenya and running against Kenyans. Or
Right. Mm.
it
Right.
was,
A
I started
progression.
training. I hired a coach. I hired a specific coach. At one point, I had like four coaches because
Mm.
one for swimming, it was one for cycling, one that would be overall, one mindset coach. And I hired all of these people differently and their expertise to learn from the best. I flew
Mhm.
to Texas, learned from professional swimming coach. So
Mm.
I learned the technique very well, so I would not get
Wow.
injured because anybody can go on AI, get a personal meal plan and but will
Right.
AI know exactly who you are and know
Right.
you personally and know? So that's why I recommend getting someone
Right.
that will follow you.
A
Uh,
human. A human.
a human is much better because you
Yeah.
you don't secrete any oxytocin with a an AI or a robot. You don't. You need a sense of tribe, the sense of
Right.
community. I
Yeah.
understand there's a lot of
Mm.
charlatans, these snake oils type of coaches. My recommendation in my book is 3 months.
Mhm.
3 months. You never pay for a year membership. You pay for
Right.
3 months at best. If you don't see any
Right.
result within 3 months, please
Right.
leave. There's no problem with it. It should be the same for dating world. It should be the same for
Take it for a test drive. Yeah, it's like, don't commit until you take it for a test drive. You don't do that with
right.
a car. You don't just look at one on the lot and say, "Okay, I don't need to drive it. I'm just gonna." I mean, some people do, but God bless them. I would rather, even if whatever the car is, I don't care what it is. You got to take it for a drive, and you might leave and then think about it and then come back. Make sure it's the right thing. And that's, as you said, like, as even people leaving their corporate roles, like, they're not going to jump out and, oh, I'm just going to do this thing and it's going to be the 100% what I'm going to be doing. No, it's like, how many iterations have I had since 2015 when I left? Yeah. Just
Oh
you.
yeah, I left the military, became a construction engineer technician in college, then switched to university, became an integrated engineer, which now I have a degree, but it's all the field of engineering into one program, specializing in biomedical. Plus, now I'm looking for work. Like nothing is open. What do you mean nothing is open? Everybody's looking for jobs.
Right.
No,
Right.
so all the iteration led me
Right.
to now the person that I am. So
Right.
starting small would
Right.
be a call. Don't wait for
Right.
this special your family to get destroyed. Don't wait for your entire life to get destroyed. And no comparison. And for me, it would be control biology first
Right.
because it's your driving factor. So a lot of
Right.
sales is about it's about they're telling you it's about feelings and sometimes it can be hormonal. So I would use the acronym SWIM,
Mm.
which stands for sleep. So control your sleep,
Mm-hmm.
regulate it
Mm-hmm.
with your coach. You should talk about your sleep.
Right.
Sleep is the most important.
Mm.
My son sleeps 12 hours a day. Right now, he's a child. Sleep 12 hours a day, my son.
Mm.
It's fine. I have no
Right.
problem with it.
Right.
I want you to sleep as much as possible. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And when he doesn't sleep 12 hours, he sleeps like sometimes 10 hours. And I
Mm-hmm.
know exactly
Mm-hmm.
there's something wrong with his
Mm-hmm.
behavior.
Right.
And again, not everybody can sleep 12 hours. I'm not
Right.
recommending 12 hours.
But
but
what you
sleep,
need. Yeah. Sleep what you
but sleep
need.
is one of them. A good night's sleep and water. So for
Mm-hmm.
the W, it would be water.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Get hydrated, very important. Many people would say water is life.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to any when I that my first question to all of my clients because I'm a naturopathic
Right.
practitioner, I ask them, "What's your daily intake of water?" That's the first
Yep.
one of the first question.
Right.
Then intake. So the I is intake. What's your intake? You can have the best engine in the world. If you're going to put the wrong fuel in it,
Right.
you're not going to go the distance.
Right.
And I've seen people we had the guy, Joe. I mentioned him because a good friend of mine. I even mentioned him in my book. I even asked him to share these stories. The guy is a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Epic 5, so 5 Ironman, 5 days, 5 island. This guy eats in his race pizza from a 7-Eleven. He eats McDonald's.
No.
He finishes the race. But again, is it optimal? Is it peak
Right.
performance?
Exactly.
Not to my knowledge, but he's allowed to intake whatever he wants. Would he reach a better performance if his intake was
Right.
changing? Well, that would be one thing that I would look at
Yep.
immediately. And then the M is move. Move, just get
Right.
some moving. And I talked
Yep.
about it earlier. Don't compare yourself
Right.
unless it's for motivation.
Conscious.
Unless it's
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
motivation, you watch a video, David Goggins yells at you, and you're into this profanity. That's fine. Some people are into this. Go ahead, learn about the motivation. He runs every day. Eh, Go ahead, okay? But move at your own
Right.
rhythm.
Right.
Move. You must move every single
Right.
day. We are way
Yep.
too sedentary in our life right now.
Exactly.
And eventually, you will see that the little walk in the morning, and I've
Yep.
given to my clients, one guy, he was thinking that I was messing around with him because for the first 2 to 3 months, I gave him workouts. And the first workout was go for a walk. And
Right.
he said, JD, we're training for a big race and I'm supposed to run. And I said,
Hey. Mm,
follow my lead, follow. And then 3 months later, he said, JD, I'm sick of it. I'm going for a run. I want to see. And he pushed the engine too much, got
oh, no.
injured, couldn't
Right.
even do the race in 6 months. Yeah.
No, that's
I said, no,
horrible.
you must follow the system. Your body,
Yes.
I know because I've
Yep.
seen thousands of bodies over the years, and I
Right.
know exactly how physiology and biology operates.
Right.
You must move in tiny increments. I did
Right.
not become one of the fittest person on earth right now because I just jumped into an Epic
No.
Deca. I started swimming, biking, and running a country. No, I was a scared individual,
Well,
and I am still scared of some things, but I use the motto to
right.
put the bar higher, and I do. And I go
Right.
higher and higher. But my higher is different than your higher. So when
Right.
I say move, please move in your
Exactly.
your level of fitness. If
Right.
you are overweight and you know it, go for a walk. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
You climb stairs, you go to the gym,
Right.
and eventually you'll just find a community. You'll
Yeah.
find some people that want to improve in
Right.
their life, and you're going to mesh very well. There's so
Right.
many stories of people that met their significant other through the same
Right.
pattern. All they have to do is if you sleep well, hormone
Right.
regulates. If you take in the
Right.
amount of water that your body needs,
Yep.
you're going to be hydrated. You're going to
Yep.
move much better. You're going to have a proper intake of food. You're going to be
Right.
filled with energy because you're going to be
Mhm.
rested. You're going to be hydrated, and you're going to have the proper fuel. And then you're going to have the motivation to move.
Right.
So this acronym, this swim acronym, not necessarily to go for a swim, but it's
Right.
it's for everyone.
Yep.
Every single
Exactly.
person should look at this and analyze it themselves. And if
Yep.
they want some third person to look at
Right.
it, go to hungrywarrioracademy.com. We'll look at it. It's free. You book a call. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be with me. It can be one of we have nutritionists, we have professional athletes, we have
So good.
ex-military members that can coach you or at least guide you to the right. If we're not the right fit, it's fine. We're doing very well. So we're looking for a
Right.
specific type of person that want to transform their life, that
Right.
want to achieve that peak performance. These men that are willing to achieve what they want
Right.
to, that are scared. And it's okay to be scared because see, many of these people, when I was in the military, I was disciplined. I was very disciplined. I was
Right.
going to the gym all the time. I was trying to follow this swim acronym as much as possible. But I understood later on that discipline is nothing but a tool.
Absolutely.
And most of
Absolutely.
these guys in the corporate world,
Yeah.
they are very disciplined. They're
Right.
sharp.
Yeah.
They get their dry cleaning at that time. They are on time at meetings
Yeah.
and they wear the best clothes, they drive the best cars, and their schedule is filled with nothing but the highest level of
Mhm.
performance.
Mm.
But then sometimes when it gets to removing that
Right.
uniform,
Right.
or who are you? Like you said, who are you
Right.
outside of that
Yeah.
uniform? They crumble. They
Exactly.
are Yeah, they become, to me, I see them sometimes as little boys. They go
Yes.
back to being little boys. And that's where I was, this scared little boy, no money. And all of a sudden now it's like,
Right.
okay, now I get to coach you because I overcame all of these struggles. It was difficult for me, but here's the mindset.
Exactly, exactly. So we'll put all the links to everything in the show notes so people will know how to get in touch with you. And from LinkedIn to your website to, yeah, anything else you want me to include, shoot it my way and we'll make sure it'll be all in the show notes. So thank you so much for sharing your journey and inspiration for other people because we can do anything if we believe we can. All right.
Thank you for having me, LuRae.
And that's a wrap on another episode of And Then I Did This, celebrating the lives of those who've walked away from the beaten path to pursue work and a life that nourishes their soul. If you're feeling inspired and ready to explore your own path to freedom, check out youcanbefree.life, where you'll find resources and support to help you break free and live life on your own terms. See you next time.